everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's video we are doing my top 10 thrillers that I want to read in 2021. Before we get started, you guys already know the drill. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you do enjoy my videos and you want to keep watching more. Also, go ahead and turn on notifications so you guys can be updated every single time I upload. And go ahead and follow me on Instagram. I have both my personal and my Bookstagram linked down below in case you guys want to go and follow me there. And with that being said, let's get right into the video. So the number one book that is on this list, this is the only one that it's like sort of the special one, the one that I really want to read, the one that I've been thinking about for months, and that is The Whisper Man by Alex North. One of my favorite booktubers, which is Noelle Gallagher, has read this and loves it, so I'm really just intrigued about it and so interested. So basically we are following a man who just lost his wife. He decides to start all over, start fresh, and moves into a town with his son. But the town is known for having a serial killer known as the Whisper Man. Once they move into this town, I believe someone goes missing, and also his son starts hearing whispers outside of his bedroom. So either we have a copycat killer or maybe there's something else going on. But basically, the Whisper Man is back, and I don't know, I find that storyline very intriguing. It would seem like a really good movie just from the synopsis, so really excited. I don't know why I haven't picked it up. I've owned it for a few months, but I haven't got to it yet. But definitely happening this year. Next up, we have Pretty Girls by Karin Slaughter. This was actually a book that I was supposed to read last October, but I was just reading too many books that month. But this book just seems so interesting, and I've heard so many amazing things about this author. So essentially, I believe we're following two sisters who come back to their childhood town, I want to say. And one of their husbands goes missing, and so it starts to bring back memories of their sister who actually went missing 20 years prior. So as they're trying to figure out where this husband is, where he went, they're also investigating the disappearance of their sister from years past. So I have a sense that it's going to go from the present to the past. I'm not sure, but if that's the case, I usually love those type of books. I've just heard amazing things about this. I know every single time I see a video where I think her name is Chanel Reads, she's always suggesting it, so I thought, why not pick it up, and super interested in this one. The next book that I have is Verity by Colleen Hoover. I've always said that Colleen Hoover seems one of those authors that I'm just really gonna like. I don't know why, I just feel it deep in my soul that she's gonna be one of my favorite authors. I just never get around to reading any of her books. Anyways, so this is actually a very popular book, both here on BookTube, Bookstagram, BookTok. I see it everywhere on every social media platform, so I really want to get to it this year. We're essentially following Lowen, yes, who is a struggling writer, and she is financially ruined. She's struggling a lot. Did I say struggling already? I think I did. And during this time where everything's kind of going downhill for her, she meets Jeremy, who is the husband of the very notorious writer Verity. Jeremy asks her to step in for Verity because Verity has been in a terrible accident and she is recovering, and he really needs her to finish one of Verity's novels that she was writing prior to the accident. So Lowen, because she is in so much need of work and money, she decides to go ahead, take the gig. As she's doing this, she actually finds an autobiography that Verity was writing, and she finds out a lot of secrets behind this author. Lowen essentially does not want to show Jeremy the autobiography or the notes from the autobiography because she feels that it would be a devastating thing to give to Jeremy, and so she decides to keep it to herself. But when she actually starts falling in love, or just, yeah, falling in love with Jeremy, then she decides that maybe she should give the autobiography because it will ruin their marriage. So I find it really intriguing. I think it's going to be awesome, and that is the little synopsis for Verity, or what I can understand from the synopsis. So there you go. Next up, we have The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. Ruth Ware is a writer that I am familiar with, and I do like her writing, so I am really excited about this book. Again, is one of those books that is constantly being mentioned in all of social media platforms. And this book is basically, I think it's a teenage girl. Maybe it's not a teenage girl. Maybe she's in college or something. I'm not sure. But she gets a really good job as a live-in nanny. And she, at the time, thinks it's like the best thing ever. But weird things start happening at the house. And she finds herself being tried for murder of a child. So we are going to be reading letters that she was writing during her time at the house, and I believe it's like from her experience, what was happening there. And I don't know, I just really like the premise of this book. It seems really interesting, and I think it's one of the next books I will be reading very soon. Next up, we have One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus. It's always so hard to say that name. This is an author that I've read a lot of books by her. I think I've read everything from her except this one, and it's always been either a 4 or a 5 for me. 4 out of 5 star. So I think this is just going to be great. I love YA thrillers. They're that thing that I enjoy. My guilty pleasure. Just really enjoy them. So in this book, we are following, I believe, 4 or 5 teenagers. Wait, let me see. Yeah, so we're following 5 teenagers who all get detention. One of them, his name is Simon. He has secrets on all of them and all of the school, and then during detention, he's the only one that doesn't make it out. So essentially, he is killed, and throughout the book, we are going to figure out who killed him. I don't know, this gives me like Pretty Little Liar vibes. Not really, but kind of. Every time I read something from her, it gives me Pretty Little Liars vibes. So, and it has a sequel, so that's awesome. I don't own the sequel yet, so we shall see. Alright, we are halfway done. I'm excited. Okay, so next up we have My Lovely Wife by Samantha Downing. I've been wanting to get really familiar with her writing. I know she's very popular, and this is just the first book that I decided to get. I heard this is kind of a cross between Dexter and Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Really enjoyed Dexter. I loved Mr. and Mrs. Smith, so I think this is gonna be like just perfect for me. So in this book, we are following a marriage who, in order to add a little spice into their relationship, a little bit of life, they decide to get into this hobby together, and the hobby is murder. So essentially there's a couple and they're killing, and I don't know, that is such a good premise. Like, that's so good. So yeah, that's it, and I'm excited to read it. I really wanted the white hardcover one, but I couldn't find it anywhere, so it's okay. Next up, we have The Sundown Motel by Simone St. James, who also wrote The Broken Girls, who I have seen the cover of, and I am interested. Anyways, so this book, I'm going to predict it right off the bat here with you guys. This is going to be a 5 out of 5. And I hate saying that because I hate putting pressure on myself to love it. But the synopsis of this book is just my cup of tea. I love it. So we are following Viv Delaney? I'm gonna say Delaney. And she is a high school girl, I believe, or... okay, I don't know what she does, okay? I don't know. She's in New York, she wants a job, and she gets a job at the Sundown Motel, and she ends up missing. She disappears, something happens, no one can ever figure it out. Fast forward, what is it? Like 20 years, 30 years later almost, her niece takes on the same job, and as she is there, she is trying to figure out what happened to Viv, her auntie. and she seems to like start to find herself in the same issues that her auntie found herself 30 years prior. So it just seems something that I will love. I will say it, I love dual time perspectives. I love going from the past to the present. I just find it really interesting being able to get glimpses of what happened in the past and then coming back and figuring out the mystery on your own, like in the present. It just seems like something that I really would enjoy, and predicting it, 5 out of 5. I feel it in my soul. The next book we have here is The Night Swim by Megan Goldin. In this book, we are following Rachel, who has this huge podcast, and she is like known for solving crimes, and because of the pressure of delivering to her audience, she ends up going into this town where she is covering a terrible rape trial. One of the, what is it called, he is like this local golden boy, a swimmer destined for Olympic greatness, is being accused of raping the police chief's daughter, and she is there to figure out what happened, take justice into her own hands. No, but as she is there, she starts to getting letters delivered to her from someone in that town pressuring her to solve that person's sister disappearance. So she's kind of in between two things, the trial and also trying to figure out who is sending her this anonymous letters and trying to figure out that mystery on its own. So find it really interesting. I think both sort of mysteries or storylines are very intriguing, and I'm excited, and I've heard a lot of great things about this book. So the next book is Pretty Little Wife by Darby Kane. This book is on this list because I want to read it because of how confused I am from the synopsis. Like, I just don't understand it. I believe we're following Lila, who lives in this small college town. Girls from there are starting to disappear. They're going missing, and one day she finds her husband's body laying dead. And the next time she comes back, I don't know from where she's coming back, he's gone. And he's missing at this point. So I don't know what is going on. It says, with the small town in an uproar, everyone is worried about the whereabouts of the beloved high school teacher. Everyone except his wife. Lila is more confused because she was the last person to see her husband's body, and now it's gone. So I'm assuming the husband probably has something to do with the disappearance of these girls, because apparently he's a school teacher. So I'm so confused. That's why I want to read it. Okay, and now this is the last one, obviously our 10th pick. I kind of cheated with this one because it's actually 3 books, but it's from the same author, so I thought I could just throw it in here, and that's going to be the rest of the books by Riley Sager. I read Home Before Dark, and I absolutely loved that book. There's nothing compared to that book yet. I haven't read anything that compares to that book. So there you go. So on the list I have The Last Time I Lied, which is, I believe, about a woman that goes back to her childhood summer camp where her friends disappeared. She's going back to try to figure out what happened that night. So that is The Last Time I Lied. Then the next one is Final Girls, which is also kind of a little bit similar, I would say, to The Last Time I Lied. So it's about this woman who 10 years prior, she was the only survivor of a really bad massacre where all her friends were killed, and she is really struggling with that, and I don't know anything else. Nothing else. I just know it's about Riley Sager, and I really like him. Alright, so then we have Lock Every Door, which I know nothing about, but I know it's very popular out there, and I think this is the one that I'm the most excited about, so hopefully I can read it soon. It says that Jules has a new job at an apartment. Oh, she's an apartment sitter. Okay. One of Manhattan, okay, at a building where it's like the most glamorous and secretive buildings. Okay. As she gets to know the residents and staff, Jewel finds herself drawn to fellow apartment sitter Ingrid, who comfortingly reminds her of her sister who vanished 8 years ago. When Ingrid confides that the Bartholomew, that's like the building, it's not what it seems, and the dark history hidden beneath this gleaming facade is starting to frighten her, Jules brushes it off as a harmless ghost story. Until the next day when Ingrid disappears. Ooh! I like that. I like that. I feel like this is gonna have Home Before Dark vibes, where it's like, is it a ghost? It's like real? What the heck is happening? Okay, that is awesome. Alright, so those are my 10 picks for top thrillers that I want to get to read in 2021. Really hope I get to them, and we shall see next year if I did end up reading all of these, which I probably will. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. My hair is just, if I don't curl it just right, it won't work. Anyway, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time on my next video. Bye.